And good morning, everyone. Welcome to this day. It is Friday, and we got another pretty mild and nice day out. I'll tell you about the weather in just a moment on our show today. From United, we have Carl Randazzo, and with him, he brought along Steve Leonard, and together they're working on this energy task force that all the mutuals and JRF are kind of working together on, but they're going to show us some new technologies that we're going to talk about today. Also, we're going to bring you a segment from Sterling Financial. And then from the Orange County Fire Authority, we have PIO Tony Bomarito here today, and also Alexa Pratt. And I think she's the community outreach person for the Orange County Fire Authority. And we're going to talk about a few different things. One of the things we're going to talk about is the California Task Force 5. And they were recently out to North and South Carolina helping up because of the effects of Hurricane Florence. So we'll find out more about that. All right, as far as meetings go today, there's only one. Third has their agenda prep meeting at 9:30 in the Sycamore Room. And United has their, which isn't really a meeting, has their new resident orientation. And if you'd like to go to that, you need to call 268-2337. Now let's talk about the weather. And unfortunately, we're going to get a little rain in the forecast coming Sunday and Monday. That's pretty much out of the forecast unless you live up in the mountains. So we're going to have the fairly mild weather going forward. As you can see, we're going to stay in the mid to low 70s. That may change just due to the amount of morning fog layer that we get in. And as we get to Tuesday, though, look at that, dropping down to maybe 69 degrees. So we're getting some nice, what I would call Southern California style fall weather in, and probably get some thicker clouds in on Sunday and Monday. And as I said, maybe a little rain, certainly in the mountains, but not for us. So if you look around California, you can see mild just about everywhere. Look at Tahoe going down to 30, and they're going to get some rain maybe overnight tonight into tomorrow. I didn't see where they'll get any snow flurries out of that, even though they're going down to 30. I just don't think there's going to be the right condition for that. Yosemite going down to 65, 37 overnight, and Big Bear only about 55 is an average for the weekend, and they will get a little rain on Sunday, and Palm Springs may get a little rain, but it doesn't look like we will here. So it's not even in the forecast anymore. I mean, at best, even yesterday, it was only about 10%. So that could change. We could still get a little bit, but right now it doesn't look like it, at least in this area. Okay, we'll be back in just a moment.
Exciting, elegant, and coming soon. Your on-screen guide is going HD, the same functionality, a sleek new design, and easier to use features. Automatically tunes to the highest resolution, and menus, icons, and logos with modern colors and crisp text.
Hey Laguna Woods, it's Ken.
And Lisa.
Did you miss an episode of This Day? Not to worry. Head over to youtube.com and search Village Television.
Here you can find each episode of This Day and other community programs such as Good Day OC, Discovering Laguna Woods, and much more.
Just click the red subscribe button, then click the bell to be emailed every time we upload a video.
Don't miss out.
And subscribe today.
Achieve a level of comfort you've never known before. The Daydreamer will take you through smooth movements and guide you effortlessly into your favorite positions. Adjust the power pillow for ideal support for your head and neck. This and our positioning technology allows for infinite relaxation. Lay back in zero gravity while watching TV and put your body and mind at ease. Lift your spirits and find your favorite daydream. Contact your local Golden retailer today.
At El Toro Pharmacy, your health needs and your quality of life is our top priority. We can be trusted with all your prescription needs, delivered free to your doorstep. Call us to have your prescription transferred. We will take care of everything. No hassle to you. We are a full-service pharmacy carrying all your over-the-counter medicines at competitive prices. And we offer complete diabetic care and your immunization requirements too. Under new management, come visit us in Moulton Plaza. El Toro Pharmacy will never be undersold, and we offer the finest after-sale services.
Welcome back. With me today from United is Carl Randazzo. Good to see you again, sir. Nice to have you here. And you've brought along Steve Leonard because, Steve, we're seeing right now that the boards are all working together in kind of what's called an energy task force. And you're a part of that. You used to be on the boards. Were you on United?
Yes.
Am I right? Yes. Yep. And you're not on the board anymore. However, you're working closely with this task force.
I'm
right?
an advisor
Yeah.
for the Energy Community
Yeah.
Task Force. Yeah.
Great to have you both here today. So this is really what our discussion is going to be, looking at these different kinds of technologies that are out there. And we're going to bring up some slides first of solar panels, but they're different, am I right?
Well, first, a little backstory.
Yes.
here.
Yeah.
So the Energy Task Force came together as a result of the mutuals having their own individual energy committees.
Right.
And GRF had one at one point. And the committees worked independently. And what we found was we needed to centralize this.
Right.
Because the entire community has needs. And they're common needs.
Right, right.
So we need to assess what we have, where we're going, and how we get to the future. So the mutuals and GRF are all part of this Energy Task Force. A couple months ago, I subscribed to some industry association affiliations, and I got an email about this solar show in Anaheim at the end of September. And I looked at this and I said, we need to go. So I went to the Energy Task Force when we had a meeting, and I said, we should go. And so United sent Carl and myself to go. And I talked to Brad Hudson, and Brad said, yeah, I should send some employees. So I believe Guy West and Ernesto and someone else all went to the show from VMS, because we've hired a consultant for the community.
Right.
To help us with all of this. And I felt that it was a good idea to get our people on the task force as educated as they can be, so when we have conversations with the consultants, it's not teacher-student kind of thing. It's going to be more unequal. So I found this convention. It was in Anaheim. So it's 15 minutes up the road. So we went the other day, and we saw a couple of things, and we're going to talk about these.
Yeah, if we could see, I think there's a picture before this of these panels. And what is really different here is, especially when you look at the pictures on the lower right, these are integrated into a roof system.
Right.
Am I right? They're
Correct.
almost like, as you explained to me before we went on, they lay flat against the substrate of the roof.
Correct.
And the sheeting, and act almost like tiles.
Correct. So they don't need any rack mount system.
Yeah.
There's no expense for that, and there's no labor involved in it.
Right.
I mean, you just go up on the roof and you just put these things down and overlay them.
Yeah.
And they're about as efficient as regular solar panels, but they're more aesthetically pleasing. And in applications where you have shingle or tile roofs, so I was quite excited to see these. And
you know what I like about these, not only the ease and that they can go in, is not so much in this community, but I know where I live, let's face it, solar panels don't look great.
Right.
And depending where the orientation of your house is, you may have to put them on towards the front of the roof.
Right.
They really don't look great.
Right.
And a lot of people are stopped by that. And so something like this is just could be a really great way to go.
So in United and also in Third, we have a lot of buildings that have shingle roofs.
Yeah.
Our two-story
Yeah.
buildings are all shingle roof,
Right.
basically. So when I saw this, I went, oh, okay, this might be of some interest going forward to some of our residents.
Yeah.
And the thing right now is, okay, I mean, every one of the things that we saw at the show, okay, was for us to bring back the technology that is available.
Right.
We don't know whether or not this technology can be applicable to us because we have to do investigation, what have you. But if you don't at least look at it and see what's available, then you can bring it back and discuss it among the people in the Energy Task Force and what have you. And there was another thing that we saw, which we thought might be somewhat applicable here, but again, we don't know. We have to do some investigation.
And this is what the next thing we're going to look at.
And that's the
right?
next thing that we're going to be
Called
looking at,
it's-
which is an ice battery.
Okay.
And right now with this ice battery, I don't know if they have.
Yeah, we'll bring up the next slide.
The slide right now, I don't know which slide we've got. Specifically indicates that during the daytime you're going to have the highest rates. Okay. So, and at night you'll have the lowest rates.
Yes.
So as a result of that, this ice battery at night creates an ice, and you'll see it on the, creates an ice bath, okay? And it's connected to the air conditioning unit. So during the daytime, the ice bath will then be able to, as you can see on the thing, on the photo there, the ice bath then provides input to the air conditioning unit, and the air compressor on the air conditioning unit could then turn off for approximately 6 hours, which means during the daytime, which is the highest rates that you're paying,
Right.
you're not running your air compressor. You're only
Right.
running a small pump that pumps the ice, well, pumps the water at that point, actually the Freon, not Freon, the 410,
Right.
to the air conditioner, and instead of using the air conditioning compressor, you're just using this little pump to pump it over there and come
Now,
back.
in a way, this reminds me many, many, many years ago of, there were systems like this, not swamp coolers, but people had things like this where you quite literally put ice in them and blow a fan over it
Right.
in its simplest form.
Right.
And in a way, this is what it kind of, and again, in a very simplistic
Right.
form, what's going on here.
The unit on the left
Yeah.
is the ice battery itself.
Right.
And
And
all
why
it
do-
is
why is it called-
coils.
okay.
It's a bunch of coils,
Yeah.
all interconnected, and it's a water bath. And what you do is at night, you feed electricity into it, and it becomes a solid block of ice.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as Carl said, during the day, you turn off your compressor at peak periods, and this little pump runs the Freon back and forth between the two units.
Right.
And you get your air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
And we were really excited to see this because GRF has a lot of air conditioning needs
Yeah.
in all of the buildings.
Right.
So we saw this, and what the people told us was that there are grants available for this, for the cost of the install
Right.
to offset it. And we looked at each other and said, whoa, this is something we really have to bring to the
So
Energy
these,
Task Force.
would these, in a sense, pipe in to existing AC?
Yes.
Or you have to have a brand new
Nope.
AC system?
No, you can pipe it into an existing AC system, okay? And the thing right now is you'd have to get the person here from that company, this happens to be one company, there are others,
Yeah.
okay? That would come here and see how they could integrate them in there, okay? And you'd have to put that ice battery, okay, adjacent or within so many, I think it's like within 100 feet of the air conditioning unit itself. And then there's a new condenser that they place inside of the air conditioner to allow that Freon that's coming from the ice bath to supplant the actual Freon that's coming through their
Okay.
compressor, okay?
Okay. Now, you showed me, or we were talking about this earlier, this is something that could also apply to single-family homes, or is
Yes.
that a little bit further on? Because
They-
obviously the units have to be much smaller.
They are
Yeah.
smaller, and they are available, and they'll even work with split systems.
Okay. Wow.
And split systems are very efficient.
Yeah.
So this is, I had never seen these ice batteries before.
And the thing right now is, okay, because of the fact that at this particular point in time, I don't know how long it's for, okay, there's a stipend that the SCE will provide for the installation, okay, of X amount of dollars, okay, that helps
Wow.
in the installation cost. Plus, you get a benefit of the fact that you're now, again, you're having your air compressor turned off during the daytime, which is the highest rates, okay, and you're just using the ice bath during the daytime. And then at nighttime, you're making this ice bath into ice, okay? That's at the lower rates, okay? So it's a win-win, okay? But again, it has to be seen whether or not this can be applied here.
I
okay?
almost see one day this company, or I know a few companies are making something similar, doing a home unit where everything is integrated into one. You now buy an AC ice unit, or whatever you
Right.
want to call
Yeah.
it. And
Right.
And that technology is available
Yeah,
now.
because for the home, it doesn't have to be that
Exactly.
big.
Right. So the last thing that we saw, or the last thing we're going to talk about today that we saw, GRF doesn't have any solar generation yet. Third does, and United does. But GRF hasn't integrated it, and one of the problems is where do you put it? And we've looked at parking lot solutions before, and we found this particular vendor, this company, that has a system where you build your solar panels down on the ground, as you can see in this photo, and then you see a crane in the right-hand side, and it's going to lift these panels up and affix them to the concrete poles. If you go to the next slide, and ultimately what happens here, you can see the unit there, and they affix them to the poles. And if you go to the last slide, what ends up happening here is that in a traditional parking lot structure, you'll see the panels over the parking spaces, but the driveways have nothing over them. So you've got panels, no panels, panels, no panels, kind of a checkerboard thing. This allows you to put them over the entire parking lot. So it cuts down the labor by 300% in the installation. So as a cost-effective basis, you see how it's starting to cover everything there. And then I think there's one more panel after this, one more shot that shows, okay, so at the top left is a traditional system, and at the bottom right, the entire parking lot is covered with these. So you get more density, faster construction for less money. So for parking lots, let's say for the clubhouses, like Clubhouse 4 or Clubhouse 2, this may make it a lot more practicable for GRF to install solar.
And these are used to some effect. I don't know whether it's the typical canopy or this other one, but the point is, I know a lot of the school districts are using this. I know the school district that my daughter goes to and my wife teaches in, Saddleback Unified. Every school eventually will have this. In fact, where my daughter goes to school, because the parking lot is not that big, it's an intermediate school. High schools have bigger parking lots. They are actually lining some of the ball fields on the side with these. You know, they're finding another way, not where the football field is so they don't kick them, but you know, all on the outside edge. And so there's different ways that they can be put up. Some of the other schools, they're putting them similar type things, but they're putting them on the gyms. So they're finding ways to do it.
But this is the first time I've ever seen where they can do an entire field over a parking structure rather than this checkerboard kind of effect.
And that was one of the reasons why we went to this show, okay, the Energy Task Force, because of the fact that we're looking for ways of saving money for the community, okay, and finding new technologies that may be available. We find these technologies, we then investigate whether or not they can be applicable to us, okay. If we determine they're applicable to us, then we may be able to implement them and then possibly save money. There may be a capital cost up front, okay, but then the return on investment may be 5 years, 2 years, whatever it is. So, and nothing here is set in stone, but we are definitely looking to save money for this community.
Yeah, there's different ways and that's what you're talking about.
Exactly.
There are different ways to accomplish something. You just got to figure out what works best.
It's the 21st century.
21st century.
And the thing is, it changes every day, what's available.
Exactly, and that's the reason why we went to the show too, because I wasn't aware of some of the things. I mean, Steve here was instrumental in getting all of the solar stuff, him and a number of other people within the community, okay, so he knew a lot more about solar. I'm used to seeing, I was an engineer in the fossil fuel and nuclear world, okay. Solar was something new to me, but this, was an eye-opener for me being at the show and seeing all the technologies that are available today.
We saw every exhibit in the convention hall. We walked for 5.5 hours.
Do they have the little light bulb, with the little black and white thing? Remember those? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The solar power.
The low solar
thing
power that I had as a kid. It looked like a light bulb, and it was black and white on either side.
And you shine light on it, and it would go, and the light bulb would light up.
No, they didn't have that.
Yeah, I think you know what? The technology, the basics of it have been around for decades.
Yeah.
It really has.
Yeah. Right.
Very good. Thank you very much.
Good to see you. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Carl.
Thank you.
Good to see you. You take care. We'll be right back.
Go for the moon. Go for the moon. Go
Dr. Leif Loberg, and I want to welcome you to our brand new facility here in Laguna Woods. We've been serving the community since 2006, and we're super excited to bring you an awesome team of doctors, Dr. Jackson, Dr. Asaturians, Dr. Vian, myself, here to serve you in our brand new state-of-the-art facility. Call us in the morning and we'll get you in the same day, guaranteed.
Dental health is important, and it can be tough to find the best fit for your needs. Flora Stenger General and Specialty Dental Practice covers most of my dental needs in one location. Their on-staff specialists provide seamless services and communication between me, my doctors, and my insurance company. Located right down the road from Laguna Woods, our bus service stops right in front of their building. For the first time, I'm getting the dental care I need with the treatment I deserve. And my dental health has never been better. Call and book your first appointment today. I'm glad I did.
Hey folks, this is Dan O'Weiler, the retirement professor. Thought we'd invite you into our offices and give you a tour of a little bit of what you might expect if you were coming to visit with us. And the first beautiful face that you see when you walk in the door is our client services representative, Gina. Gina, tell us a little bit about what you do here in the office and give people a little bit of idea of what they can expect.
Well, when you come in, I will greet you, and we always have treats available for you to help yourself. And then we'll have you go into our lovely lobby over there, and I'll get you started with your paperwork, and we'll get you into your meeting with Dan.
Gina's been a great addition to our staff. As I mentioned, we're a family-run business. If you've been with, seen our advertisements and commercials over the years, you know that it's a family-run business. I have 2 sons, a son-in-law working with us. Gina's been a great female touch to our office. She keeps us organized now, makes sure that we do what we're supposed to do on the female touch side of this, and it's been a great addition to the office. But I'll go in and show you our conference room and what you can expect when you come into an appointment. This is our conference room where you would come in and meet with us. This is my son-in-law, Ben. Ben is one of the associate advisors that we have on board. He came on about a year and a half ago. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Ben, what you do here.
Yeah, as Dan mentioned, I'm an associate advisor here at Sterling Financial Advisors. I put on a lot of the seminar events as well as meet with people, run a lot of numbers, and want to make sure that we're able to accomplish your hopes and dreams in retirement by evaluating your current portfolios and maybe being able to assist in areas that we can so that you feel comfortable with where your funds are in retirement. So,
Ben's been a great asset to the company in regards of our marketing arm. He's kind of made it a little bit more cohesive. We've just kind of been out in the market doing what we do from here to there, and Ben's kind of come in and has got some expertise in marketing and just kind of tightened up our brand, our marketing material. It's been a great asset to us, but this is kind of where all the work takes place as we meet with people, and we'll sit down with you on a complimentary basis and kind of find out what your hopes and dreams are for retirement, and maybe we can do a little bit of help to help that. But I want to introduce you to some more of our staff, so we'll kind of go down the office and introduce that. This is actually our waiting area where you come in. As Gina mentioned, we have some coffee, treats. We even got some little promotional items here if you'd like. Our Sterling board here is just some pictures of our client events in the past that we've done. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we talk to Kyle, who's in charge of our client events. Last year we had our annual Christmas party. We sponsored the Make-A-Wish Foundation. We were able to raise enough money to sponsor 3 separate children for their Make-A-Wish Foundation, and hopefully they were able to enjoy that. But let's go down and see the other staff. This is our in-house attorney's office. He doesn't work for us, but he subleases office from us, and he works with a lot of our clients on their estate planning needs. Trust documents, wills, powers of attorneys. He specializes in that area, and as I mentioned, he helps with a lot of our clients. If they've got their own attorney, that's fine, but a lot of times they like it because they can come here to their office and have an in-house attorney. And this is our back room, so to speak. My son Kyle, he's in charge of our client events. Client events is, we call them our client appreciation events, which we put on during the year at no cost to our clients. Kyle, tell us a little bit about what your role is here.
Well, here at Sterling Financial Advisors, we take a lot of pride in the relationships that we develop with our clients, and I kind of head up a lot of that. Specifically, I plan, as Dan said, a lot of the events that we do. We do some social events throughout the year. For example, right now, I'm here talking, figuring out an Angels game that we've got planned coming up in June. We're going to take some of our clients there, so we're working on getting some tickets for that game and getting a bus reserved for it. We do also some educational events, which are a little bit more for learning opportunities for some of our clients as well. You know, and we do a lot of things to kind of take care of our clients and just develop those relationships. You know, sending them birthday cards, anniversary cards, just letting them know that, you know, we're always thinking of them, that, you know, that we do value the relationship that we have with our clients.
And the pretty face of the business is my beautiful wife, Marilyn. Marilyn also has helped me over the year build this business, and she's not taken as much of an active role because we've grown and brought on new people. But Marilyn, tell us a little bit about your roles with Kyle and some of the things that you're doing.
Well, I primarily help Kyle plan the client events. We're, like you said, we're working on an angel event right now, going to an angel game, and it takes more than one man to do the job, so I pretty much help him organize it, and then I also do help him with the birthday cards and take care of getting the office supplies and things like that for the office.
And the other employee that we've got is my son Jason. Jason has, over the years, have helped us with the client servicing, the client needs, and we've kind of moved and shifted his responsibilities. Tell us a little bit about what you do, Jason, now.
Well, I've kind of shifted my roles. Now I'm more in charge of the audio-visual aspect of the business. Any videos that we need edited, any videos we need created, they'll come to me and I'll actually organize that. I'm in the process of setting up some podcasts that we're going to get rolling out here in the next couple of weeks. And then on the other side, I actually do any reports that we need set up and run for the business, for our clients, for the potential clients. They'll come back to me and I'll get those set up and I'll get those organized and all ready to go for our meetings.
So it's kind of a new segment that we've got, and we're expanding as we've grown over the years. We've kind of had to bring on more people. When we first started, it was my wife and I, then I brought on Jason, then we brought on Kyle, and we brought on Ben. And so we're kind of growing, and it's been a good experience for us as we've grown over the years. And so we just kind of wanted to invite you into our office and give you a little bit of a tour and meet our overall staff, and hopefully that's giving you a feel for what we wanted to do. So we'll kind of head out this way. So folks, on behalf of Sterling Financial Advisors, we hope you've enjoyed a little tour of our office. I know you've seen our commercials over the last few years on TV. I've been interviewed with Ken Goldenberg on This Day, but I wanted you to get to meet our staff a little bit, how we work with clients as they come in the door. We provide an opportunity to meet with anyone on a complimentary basis. We'll sit down, no charge, to kind of find out what your hopes and dreams are in retirement. If you'd like to take that opportunity to meet with us on a complimentary basis, feel free to give our offices a call. We'd be happy to set up a time that works for both of our calendars. We hope you have a great retirement in the future. Thanks so much.
Would you like to save money like we do? I want to introduce you to our granddaughter, Erin Reed, who's a Medicare advisor. Erin, can you save my neighbors and friends money as you have done with Grandpa and me?
Many of the plans I offer have $0 monthly premiums and can help save you money. There are many different options out there when it comes to Medicare coverage, and I represent all of them. But more importantly, I represent you as the individual. Call today for a free plan comparison.
If you truly want to make a difference, there's no better way than a career in California water, a dynamic, essential industry at a critical turning point.
Water is absolutely the most crucial thing hitting our Central Valley and our state.
It's work that's so essential that people want to stick with it if they're in it.
It will be life-changing, not only for yourself, but for generations to come.
Through times of drought, aging infrastructure, and a growing population, the water leaders of tomorrow will seek innovative solutions to unprecedented challenges, helping protect California's most vital resource.
We have to broaden our network so that we can bring all the bright minds together to solve a problem that has to be solved.
It's a valuable resource. We need to protect it, and we always need people to do that.
The water business isn't just about delivering water, moving it from point A to point B. A new wave of opportunities are emerging, from working in the field to a water quality lab, shaping policy in a boardroom to customer service and human resources, tackling complex regulations, or leveraging technology for critical improvements in water efficiency and sustainability.
It's not just building pipes and pump stations anymore.
We need engineers, we need those in the hard sciences, we need those in the soft sciences, people that understand law, understand public policy.
You need the accountants, you need the rate setters.
We need all types and all hands on deck.
There's nothing more central to California's future than carrying on the water industry's mission.
It's a tremendous responsibility we have in delivering that water resource that you can't live without.
If you really want to make an impact, then this is where you're going to have the most impact.
In California Water, you'll find a vast array of long-term, well-paying careers with numerous opportunities to grow and make your mark, and new initiatives welcoming the next generation.
It makes me feel like I can make a real big difference.
If you think that this industry is a non-changing industry, that's exactly the reason why you have to get involved. That's why you have to come in to affect that change.
It's only going to become more important as years go on, too.
Why not be that person to take the water industry to the next level?
We're going to have to be more innovative, we're going to have to collaborate more, and we'll need a new generation to help us do that.
The impact that your service will bring to public service and to water in general will last for generations to come.
The Crean Family Farm is a special section of the zoo where you can pet and feed goats and sheep, learn about animals, ride the train, and the new 50-monkey Ferris wheel. Behind us, the train is going by, so Ethan's going to tell us a little bit about the farm and how it got its name.
Sure. So the farm opened in 2004 as the Crean Family Farm. We did have a smaller farm area in the zoo that dates back to the 1970s. It was starting to show its age, and we knew we could do more with the farm area. So that's when a campaign started for a new family farm area in the zoo. And the Crean family came in with a lead gift donation towards this project. So they are named, and it's named the Crean Family Farm. We have a variety of rare breed farm animals. So those are breeds of livestock, of goats and sheep and pigs and cows that are not very common anymore. So breeds that may have been common 100 or 150 years ago and now have sort of gone away. So we want to represent those heritage breeds here at the zoo. In addition to the rare breeds, we also are starting to incorporate some play areas and interactive elements for smaller children that relate to the farm area. And also we have homes for many of our education animals, so the animals that we use in programs for visitors coming to the zoo and also schools. So we have all of that represented in the farm, and on top of that we have a large classroom. It's literally on top of that because it's the second floor of our barn. And the rides, we have a carousel, the conservation carousel, the Zoofari train ride, and the new 50-monkey Ferris wheel, which talks about the story of the 50 monkeys at Prentice Park.
The Santa Ana Zoo is located right off the 5 freeway off 1st Street on Chestnut Avenue in Santa Ana. Very simple to get to. The zoo is open 7 days a week from 10 to 4, closed major holidays. There is a senior rate, 60 years and over, of $9. Wheelchairs and electric scooters are available for rent. For more information, visit their website at www.santaanazoo.org.
I choose to let someone else do the cooking.
I choose to let someone else do the driving.
Choose to experience the good life at Villa Valencia in Laguna Hills. Call or visit us today.
And I'd like to welcome right now, we have Captain Tony Bomarito. He is the PIO for the Orange County Fire Authority. And I'd also like to welcome back Alexa Pratt. You are the education specialist, supervisor now.
Supervisor now, yes.
Yeah, great to have you back, and great to have you back as well.
Thank you.
It's been a busy time, really the last probably couple months for you, for the Orange County Fire Authority. We'll talk about the California Task Force as well, that went out to South Carolina, North Carolina to help out after Hurricane Florence. But first, let's talk. Let's kind of go back a little bit, and we're getting in that time of the year. I said, fortunately, we've gotten a little bit of rain, but very typically, in these months, October, November, is when we get the Santa Ana winds. We get them almost all year now, but typically these are when the high pressure system sits in a certain area and it gets a lot stronger. Mm-hmm. So as far as that, we kind of know it's coming. We recently had the Holy Fire, which thankfully, at least for Orange County side, we didn't have those Santa Ana winds, which could have been a lot different situation, right?
Oh, yeah, completely. So I stated last time I was here that Santa Ana winds is kind of when Southern California burns, unfortunately.
Yeah.
We get the Santa Ana winds. Northern California's had those tragic fires.
Mm-hmm.
They burn earlier in the summer, earlier in the year. We burn later in the year when our Santa Ana's hit. So thankfully there was no winds behind the Holy Fire. Although our brush is so dry from the drought conditions that fire was purely from dry brush and topography driven. That was over 23,000 acres without any wind behind it. So it was a big fire.
Yeah, and it moved quite quickly, and the fact that there's a lot of equipment on there, but I know we were just talking a few minutes ago that one of the situations that occurred, there were so many fires in the state, huge fires, again up north. There was about 3 up there at least. That there's this mutual task force where firefighters and agencies move into other areas. They help them out and all this. And when you got so much equipment that's needed at so many fires, it's going to create a problem as far as getting equipment and firefighting power where it's needed at that moment.
Right, absolutely. When we get these major fires and multiple major fires, we start depleting our resources. So there's South Ops and North Ops that control fire resources within the state. So when we get a fire, so for the Holy Fire, for example, when we get resources there and there's another fire that breaks out, the incident commanders for the fire that they're on are very hesitant to release resources because if their fire gets out of control or they can't get a handle on it, once they release those resources, they're not going to to get those back.
Yeah.
So when we get these multiple large fires, that is a big player is trying to fight for these resources.
Which, of course, makes sense.
Absolutely.
Think, yeah.
We only have a certain amount of people, right? So, I mean, if you have a football team and 10 of them are injured, so you're stuck with whatever you have left. And you got to make do, right? So that's what we do.
And you were telling me that the way that both the CAL FIRE and also the other agencies operate these fires, they may look at them a little bit differently. Or, there's one thing I got to say about the Orange County Fire Authority. Over the years, you guys are on things very, very, very quickly, and almost to the point of if you have the manpower and equipment, you will overdo it from the very start, where some of these agencies may not. Am I right? I mean, it's not meaning they're lax or anything, but they look at things a little bit differently.
Right. So we follow the CAL FIRE model, and that's to try to keep everything 10 acres or less. So we put aircraft, helicopters, fixed wing, and as much ground resources as we can to keep those fires under 10 acres. U.S. Forest Service sometimes handle things a little different. If there's no homes or life threat, they might let things burn a little bit more, so they actually clear some of that brush out of the way.
Right.
It's two schools of thought. None are wrong, none are right, but we tend to try to get on things very quickly to keep them under 10 acres.
All right. Alexa, when it comes to educating people about this, you know, in one of the things that we're doing here in the community, working with the Orange County Fire Authority, brush clearance.
Yes.
And that's the number one thing. Now, where I live, it's a little bit different. I don't have to worry about that. Well, I mean, I do. I live in RSM, but we have a road behind us. We then have O'Neill Park behind us. We're hoping they're doing their part there. But I know in this community and other areas, that's one of the major factors that can really help the firefighters get a handle on things quickly.
Right. When it comes to wildfires, fire safety, we promote what we call Ready, Set, Go. And part of Ready is vegetation management, home clearance, creating defensible space around your home. So that a lot of that is removing dead and dying plants, making sure that within 100 feet of your home you have properly placed plants that you plant responsibly, not so much of the, we have a do plant list and do not plant list, kind of recommended plants, maintaining that clearance, and then also home hardening. So looking at your eaves, a lot of times it's the embers that get inside the home and cause the fire. So looking at your embers, the eaves, windows, we have a lot of information on our website for people to go and find out what they can do to protect their home.
Okay, and you know, this is something that's you know, almost becoming the norm, just depending where they are and how big they are. But you know, we're just seeing this happening a little bit more and more, and they're big fires for a lot of reasons that get out of control quickly because the brush is built up for so long. And in many cases, it's I know that, you know, the fire we had, the Holy Fire, there are areas there that hadn't burned in years and years.
Right, so the forest, that was in the Cleveland National Forest.
Yeah.
You're looking in the middle of a forest, not necessarily high timber trees, but it's national forest and protected by the federal government, but it's in the middle of nowhere. We don't have roads that we can drive up there and drive a fire engine and pull a hose and put it out. So that's why we rely on that fixed wing helicopters, because there's just so much out there, because it's unmanageable. There's just too much space out there.
What I found interesting is one of the aircraft, and I forget which one it was, might have been the Super Scooper or whatever it was, but I heard they go back up north to refuel. There was one of them they were talking about, they actually fly back up, it takes them about an hour back up to the Sacramento area and reload with the, you know, with the fire retardant and then come back down here.
For our fires down here in Southern California, it's usually out of Hemet Ryan Base.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where they fill. So it's a very quick turnaround.
Oh, okay, so that's very quick. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about, we're going to get to the open house in a minute, but let's talk about the California Task Force 5. And we got a couple video clips here that basically, this is an agency that works with FEMA and other agencies around the country. They are made up of some members of the Orange County Fire Authority, but also I think LA Sheriff and other agencies as well, right? They all work together?
Yeah, so we actually have an 80-person task force that actually consists of multiple fire departments within Orange County. And for example, for this task force, out of the 80-person task force, they chose 16. There actually were 14 from Orange County Fire, one from Orange City, one from Anaheim Fire. And those guys just specialized in water rescue. So they took 16 of that 80-person task force, assembled them as what they call a mission-ready package with their own equipment, specially trained in water rescue, and they deployed them to 2 teams, one a day apart. One went to Bowling Green, Virginia, one went to Raleigh, North Carolina.
Okay, and we've seen them do this before. The most recent one that I recall is going down to Houston.
So
the same thing,
these federal teams, they rotate throughout the state. There's 8 in the state, there's 9 on the West Coast. I think the other one is somewhere in Oregon or Washington. So we have 9 task force, USAR task force on the West Coast. So they just kind of rotate for these emergencies. So when this one's up, this one goes. If they need more, they subsequently send more.
Yeah, and we've seen how in the case of Hurricane Florence, there were task force from all around the country, and everyone works together and gets in there and does what needed. And in fact, the California Task Force 5 was deployed, if I'm not mistaken, ahead of the hurricane, because they drove out there. anticipating that they would be needed. And so I think they left, as that hurricane was still offshore, I think they left a couple days before. And you know, it's a 3-day drive. They drive straight through. And
yeah, I think they drove 61 or 62 straight hours. They took a little, an hour here break or whatever to shower, to eat. But those guys, I mean, that's a hard drive, and they wanted to get there before the storm hit, so they were in place. So, and they accomplished their goal.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
All right, coming up this weekend is the open house, and this is a lot of fun. I've been up there before, and this is up in, what's the main street? I know it's Fire Authority Road, but is it off Jamboree?
It's off Jamboree.
It's off Jamboree.
It's right at the corner, Tustin Ranch and Jamboree.
Okay.
It dead ends into our
up
facility.
in, it's technically Irvine, I think, right there.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the headquarters for the Orange County Fire Authority. It's a lot of fun, and it gives people and families the opportunity to be hands-on, meeting the firefighters, watching quite often how they train, how the new recruits train, and I recall even how the rescue dogs work and how they train those, and they put on demonstrations. You can go into the main garage and look at the equipment. It's really, it's a fun time, it is. I like it a lot.
It's a really fun event. It's by far our biggest event of the year, where we open our doors to the public. It's a chance for the public, families to come, a fun day. We talk about fire safety, learn what you can do in your home as far as not only fire safety, disaster preparedness, drowning prevention, and then also see what our firefighters do. A chance to get to know the department, see how they train, all of our cool toys, the fire engines. They get to go on a fire engine ride. And the dog demonstration's always a favorite. See what our USAR dogs do, how they train and search to find people.
Yeah, and for kids, it's a great fun. They can also, I don't know if they're doing this year, but they had dress up for the kids as well. They could put on little firefighter uniforms and things like that. But the education part of it, I think, is really great. You have it in the courtyard there, where they can talk to people about smoke alarms and carbon monoxide alarms and how they should be installed. But along with that is, as you mentioned, the drowning, and they talk about that as well. There's usually a desk or a booth set up there.
Yes.
They can get information. They can get the pool watcher tags.
Yeah, so we could talk about drowning prevention. Even though summer's over, we're getting into fall. Drownings unfortunately happen year-round here in Southern California and Orange County. So something that we really want to push and continue to bring to the forefront of awareness.
Yeah, it's Southern California. People swim mostly year-round, and unfortunately, it does happen. And I know one of the things that you have emphasized over the years, even when it comes to adults, it's amazing how many adults drown, and most of the time they are alone. Right? And it's something, I guess if you want to go out and swim, we do have lifeguards here, and nobody's around, well, you got to make that decision of maybe I shouldn't, because all it takes is you slipping on the side, hitting your head, whatever it might be, and it could happen very easily.
Yes, especially for adults, and that's why we say don't swim alone, because most of the time it's a heart attack, a medical condition, you're out of breath, and no one is there to save you. So unfortunately, it results in a drowning fatality. Whereas if you just alerted someone, let them know that you're going in the pool, you're swimming, they can look out for you. And if something were to happen, they can call for help.
Yeah. Tony, let me ask you when it comes to, sometimes I'll look online, and you have the incidents that come up in the Orange County Fire Authority. And also I go on Pulse Point, which is a great app to use as well. And most of your calls are medical calls.
Correct.
I would say. I mean, it seems like about 90%.
That's probably right about there.
Yeah. And there's been some thought about, all the equipment that goes out for a medical call. Is that something that maybe they're looking at a little bit differently? I know I've heard that you put out the truck and engine and all this, because it does take some resources, or you need to deploy all that because you're not sure?
So two things here. Our fire chief has actually condensed a little bit. We've gotten rid of most of our medic vans. We have a couple squads left,
Okay.
so we have 2 paramedics on an engine.
Okay.
So typically for medical aid, you'll get a fire engine and a private ambulance, which actually transports
Okay.
the patient. So there is actually less resources,
Okay.
units going, but the same amount of manpower. Every call requires that kind of manpower. If somebody's heart stops beating, you have multiple people involved. You have
Okay.
one person on the airway, one person doing compressions, one person administering drugs, and one person talking to the doctor on the radio. So that's 4 right off the bat.
Okay.
So the manpower is needed for every medical aid. It's better to have too much than too little. It's the same cost regardless, whether we have 10 guys there or 4 guys there. So, but our fire chief has changed that a little bit. So we do
Yeah,
have.
I've heard that,
Yeah. So there will be a little bit less, but it'll still be a fire engine and a private ambulance going every medical aid.
Okay. And I guess in a way it also makes sense because if you get out to an incident and you're done with that, what you need for that medical incident, you could get a call right there where there's a fire maybe nearby, I mean an actual fire.
Yeah.
And so now you're all together and ready to go.
Yeah, so that's why we have the paramedics on the fire engines, dual role, right?
Yeah.
So we have paramedics that are also trained in firefighting. So we have everybody on one engine rather than just 2 paramedics on an ambulance and then another fire engine just responsible for fires. We can
Yeah.
put all those guys on one unit and they can do everything.
All right. We're hoping to get your chief on one day.
Oh, yeah.
That would be great.
That would be good.
I want to again tell everybody about tomorrow about the Orange County Fire Authority open house. This is up on Fire Authority Road, which is in Irvine off of Jamboree. And it starts at 10 o'clock, 10 to 3. They're going to have all kinds of demonstrations and fun. You can see the, I like the dog demonstration.
Yeah, that's a favorite.
You know what I learned about the dog demonstration? You don't reward them with food, because then if they go into an incident, they could be smelling food, and all it is a little toy that they let the dog play with. That was kind of neat. I learned that. Now I don't give treats to our dog. You go, no, you reward them a different way. But I also want to say, if for some reason you can't go to that, if I'm correct, the following weekend is just fire station open house. Am I right?
Yes, that's correct. So 30 of our stations will be open, and that time frame is from 9 to 2. So you can stop by. The list of participating stations is on our website, ocfa.org, and it's a good chance to see us and what we do at the fire station level.
All right, very good. Thanks for coming on, both of you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Hope to
thanks for
see you
having
both
us.
again soon, and appreciate all the information and all the work you do. And you know, I got to say, especially right now, the task force, the way that they deploy and work together with other agencies, because that's amazing. It really is. Yeah, great. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
There are over 400,000 seniors in Orange County today, so where does a senior or family caregiver go for information and resources? You can turn to the Answers Guide published by the Council on Aging Southern California. Answers is full of articles and resources to help you navigate the aging experience. You can pick up your free copy today at the clubhouse nearest you or at the Social Services Office. The Council on Aging, helping seniors remain healthy, connected, and protected.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I am so pleased to welcome you to JTV. We're a 24/7 home shopping network focused exclusively on jewelry and gemstones. And because we believe every woman deserves to be lifted up, we love to help her sparkle, keep her informed, and make her smile. Our viewer is passionate about jewelry and gemstones, and we share her passion. Because of that, she keeps coming back, making us one of the top retailers in the United States. We sell extraordinary products at extraordinary prices. Welcome to JTV.
We love to show people that our sight loss won't hold us back. Thanks to free classes at Braille Institute, we're returning to the things we love. We're connecting with the world using today's technology. And we're learning to get back in the game. Thanks to Braille Institute, it's about what we can do, not what we can't.
Get information about free programs available from Braille Institute Anaheim, or learn about our new center in South Orange County by calling 1-800-BRAILLE or visit brailleinstitute.org.
And our movie coming up for today, Friday, is a good one, Jurassic World. This is the second movie in the Jurassic World trilogy. I assume there's going to be a trilogy. And of course, this is based on Jurassic Park from many, many years ago. In this one, it takes place 3 years after the destruction of the Jurassic World theme park. And Owen Grady and Claire Dearing return to the island to save the remaining dinosaurs from a volcano that's about to erupt, only to discover terrifying new breeds of gigantic dinosaurs while uncovering a conspiracy that threatens the entire planet. In this movie, we have Chris Pratt, who plays the main character, Owen Grady, and he is, of course, known also for Guardians of the Galaxy. There he is. And then Bryce Dallas Howard, she plays Claire Dearing, and these two were together in the first movie as well. Fun movie. I mean, it's got a little comedy and action, adventure, sci-fi. And if you like the whole Jurassic Park, Jurassic World movies and realm, you will really enjoy this. And as I said, I'm almost positive there's going to be a third one. I think this was a trilogy from the start. So this will be today at 2 o'clock with captions and 7 o'clock without captions. As far as the weather goes, well, we got some fairly mild weather. We might, warm up a little bit here and there, but pretty much in this area staying in the mid 70s, going down to the low 70s, and then maybe down to the upper 60s as we get to Tuesday. Of course, that could change just depending on the cloud cover we get in and if we get the low pressure system builds or high builds. But the rain that was kind of in the forecast for Sunday and Monday, it's only about a 10% chance, is pretty much out. So anyway, we will see you on Tuesday. We're off on Monday. Take care. Bye-bye.